So then basically they don't want a person who's been declared and leaves. They don't want to say anything bad because then they'll never get to speak to their family again. And the church basically has this thing, well, if you do get declared, you can do all these steps and you can pay back your freeloader debt and all these other things. And if you do all those things, then you might be able to speak to your family again. But if you talk trash, then that's it. You're guaranteed you're never going to speak to them again. So that's why you have a lot of these people that are out that don't say anything because they're connected or they have some family member that they love and they still want to talk to, and they know that if they say anything, they're never going to speak to that person again. So that's where you get that's how they use the disconnection thing, and they use that at all levels of the church, and that's basically the way they keep people quiet. So, I mean, I'm looking back in the chat here to see if there's anything else, but I'm not going to talk about Tom and Katie or anything like that.
No, one of the things we talked about, which I found very interesting, was you were saying that essentially at this point there's more anonymous. There's at least one or two anonymous for every actual Scientologist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing about Anonymous is basically Anonymous has basically circumvented any policy that L. Ron Hubbard ever wrote on how to deal with critics of the church. I mean, all the black ops and all the fair game tactics that the church normally uses, the Anonymous kind of gets around all those things, because if you don't know who somebody is, it's pretty hard to, have a PI, camp out at their house or talk to their people they work with, or, that's why at first they were trying to out, the Anonymous guys, and, that's the only thing they know how to do is say, Anon 5032 is, Jeff whatever, it's like, that's the only thing the church knows how to do, because they won't do anything unless L. Ron Hubbard wrote how to do it somewhere. So Anonymous throws a wrench into their whole system and the whole OSA network. They basically they don't know what to do. The other thing is that the Anonymous guys are so effective. The church is actually trying to find out what Anonymous is doing to figure out what they should do. Like, the church has had this Scientology website for like 10 years, and it's been the same exact website since day one. And Anonymous shows up, and Anonymous starts doing videos, and they start doing YouTube and all that. The church never, ever was on YouTube, never, ever had, all these different videos or whatever. And, next thing you know, boom, they scrap their entire website that they've had since day one, and then they put up all these videos, and they try to make it this cool thing. They get rid of all the heavy text and all that, because they're like, Anonymous is reaching these guys through videos, so we need to, get on, do videos. It's like literally like, up until now, no one told them, because L. Ron Hubbard never said to do a video and put it on the internet, so why would they ever do that? But, now, Anonymous is so effective, so they're like, well, damn, we got to get some videos up on our site. We got to, fight back, in the same, kind of weapons Anonymous is using. And you got to realize Scientology has been doing these international events and conventions for 30 years. And basically every few months they have like a get-together, and it's in one major location, and then they satellite that event, or now they video the event, and it gets edited and post-produced, and then it gets sent out to DVDs to all their little satellite little churches, and then those areas call people in and they watch the video and yay. Okay, well, they've been doing that for 30 years, and I did the budgets for years for those events, and an international event to put on is anywhere from $400,000 to $500,000 to do one of those events. And these things happen like every 2 or 3 months, and there's 6 major events that happen. And you've got the New Year's event, which happens, usually at the end of the year, and they do that almost always. They do that at the Shrine, and if they don't do it at the Shrine, then they do it in Clearwater. Then the March 13th event, which is like L. Ron Hubbard's birthday, they have that one, usually have that in Clearwater or L.A. And then you've got the May 9th event, which is the anniversary of the publication of Dianetics, and they do that. Usually they do that in L.A. or Clearwater. And then they've got the June 6th event, which is that maiden voyage anniversary of the Freewinds, and that one only happens at the Freewinds. And they actually go out there, and there's like 300 people on that ship. A lot of people think that ship's like some huge cruise ship. It's like the what is it, the SS Minnow compared to any other Princess Cruise line. It holds 3,000 people. This thing holds 300 people. This ship. That's the June 6th event, and that only gets attended to by like OT7s and OT8s, like the highest level of auditing in the church. Then you've got the Auditor's Day event, which happens in September. Usually, I think it's the second week in September, and that happens in Clearwater. And then you have the International Association of Scientologists event that happens in October, and that happens in the UK. And then you're back to New Year's again. Okay, those events have been happening for 30 years, okay? They spend $400,000 to $500,000 to put them on. And internationally, when they hold one of those events, they get about, like, at the main hall where the live event happens, they may get 3,000 or 4,000 people. And then maybe at a few other locations, they get maybe like 50 to 100 people. And then in the little orgs, they have like maybe 5 or 10 people. That adds up. I mean, we were seeing the attendance statistics every time one of these events would happen. And they're getting about 10,000 people internationally to attend one of their events every 3 months. Okay, this is after 30 years. After 3 months, Anonymous can get 10,000 people to show up every month. And this is for like a several-hour, peaceful protest where you're walking around and, in the hot sun, and you've got to march from here and take the metro over here. I mean, the church is paying $500,000 to have people sit in a seat for an hour and a half, and they're getting 10,000 people. Anonymous, in 3 months, has done what's taken the church 30 years to do. And Anonymous is getting them every month. The church can only get them every 3 months. So right there, that is a huge, huge perspective that you've got to be able to have going, Anonymous has done in months what it's taken them 30 years to do. And that's why I was saying, you've got Anonymous, if you got 10,000 people showing up, and you got 10,000 Scientologists showing up, those people that go to the events within the church, those are considered the active, quote-unquote, Scientologists. Those are the guys that are going on course and getting auditing and showing up in the local church. And all the other people are basically considered offlines and considered not Scientologists that need to be recovered or whatever. So that's why I say there's one Anonymous for every Scientologist right now. If 15,000 people start showing up or 20,000 people start showing up for the protests, well then it'll be 2 to 1 or whatever. But I mean, Scientology's peaked out. I mean, they have events at the Shrine, which is in L.A., Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, and it holds like 4,500 people. They can't even fill that. Los Angeles is like the second largest concentration of Scientologists in the world, and they can't even fill the Shrine with 4,000 people. And that's when they have all the staff go as well. And you've got like 1,100 staff in the Los Angeles or Southern California area that are showing up to the Shrine as well. So those are the facts, and those are the the hard statistics on how many people Anonymous get to show up and how many people Scientology get to show up. And that's why I think I think Anonymous has been completely effective in what they've done, and I think all the different topics and the reconnection and the fair game and all these things, those are the buttons, those are the things. And David Miscavige, absolutely. Anonymous is the number one thing on his list to deal with right now, and that's the other thing. He hates when he is on the internet. I remember when I was at the base, and his picture was on some website, and somebody was doing something to him or something like that. He went wacko.
Do you think he likes the Photoshops? Because I have several that I've been waiting to post that aren't very nice.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen so many things. I've seen some of the crudest things I've ever seen with David Miscavige in them that I'm just laughing my head off when I see them. But